And welcome back to the European Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship here in Antwerp for 2022. We've just seen 2 rounds in a row with an absolute slapping from some of those Sun Avalon Rika decks, and that's been quite exciting. But we're bringing you something a bit different for this, the final round of Swiss. Remember, after this, we're getting into the top 128 players. From here on, it is entirely the top cut. But let me not waste any more time in introducing you to your next duelists. We have Robin Dulin and Tim Koller. So guys, I hope best of luck to you both. I'm going to let one of you roll first. Tim, after you. That's an 8. And that is a 7. You're going to go first. So Tim is going to go first, which means I'm now going to hand you guys over to Marcello and Alberto. Guys, take it away.
Hi everyone and welcome to round 12, the last round of Swiss for the European Championship 2022. Excited to see this, and one of these duelists will be guaranteed a spot in our top 128.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward, especially because there's your pick for this turn.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see if this deck will advance to the top cut, which is Punk Tier Elements.
Yeah.
Deck we haven't. I mean, we have seen a lot of versions this weekend of Tier Elements mixed with Dangers. We have seen a lot of different stuff, and this is the first time that we see this specific engine combined with no other cards. So I'm really looking forward to it. And on the other side, there's Robin.
Yeah, the Spice comes in this match, at least from Robin. It is a deck we have yet not seen during this weekend, and it's one of my favorites, I would say guilty pleasures, which is Sky Striker. So we have seen Sky Striker throughout a lot of different years. It has been doing really, really well, even at the North American event, where he got 2nd place at the very end with Ryan Yu, of course, former Dragon Duel World Champion. But now Robin is representing it, and he's actually having his own interesting take on the deck. We are not going to spoil his side deck because that's just mind-blowing to us. But in the main deck, I'm already curious to see, because it seems as if it would be a going 2nd list, right?
Yeah, we have seen most of the times Striker player relying on going 2nd strategy, which makes sense, especially because you can attack direct your opponents and engage, for example, take it back with Kagari. He has multiple hand traps. This is something that the Sky Striker deck can afford to do. We will see.
Absolutely, because as we were mentioning, it was doing really well. It won a YCS, it got 2nd place at the North American event, but it was mostly relying on a lot of different copies of Mystic Mine and trap cards going first. This time it's more of a traditional Sky Striker deck with just the ton of hand traps and just the 3 copies of Mystic Mine. So I would be really surprised if he picked and chose to go first. So we'll find out regardless very soon, and our players are ready, so let's find out who will be the winner of this match. And here they are. You mentioned multiple times that you used to compete on the bubble quite a lot. You lost some, you won some, but how does it feel, and do you have any advice for players who find themselves struggling, on the bubble?
I think you just keep trying, especially because the pressure is on you when you really want to win the last one and make it to the top cut. It's a weird sensation because on one hand you don't really want to mess up, because sometimes the pressure can make you some jokes, but I think also playing in the future match could cost you. But as for the moment, both of these guys showed up only with 3 losses, which means they're on the bubble, and if any of these 2 guys now wins, has a chance to make it to the top cut. As you said, it will be our first ever top 128 top cut.
Yeah,
so
it changes so much.
Yeah.
I mean, as you were mentioning, and it's always very different because you tend to... Oh, and already we see one of the interesting cars in Robin deck. Ghost Bell, we haven't seen much of these hand traps this weekend, I guess. But here comes the other engine. So, Amin, of course, Great card. It allows you to just add to your deck. In this case, we'll go through the Ogre, which is interesting. I guess he might have another piece of interaction in his hand. Let's see, because usually you would just go for Foxy Tune, of course.
Okay, he picks the Deer Node here. Yeah, this is one of the main advantages of playing the Punk engine along with the tier elements, especially because, like, once again here on the screen, we will soon see the Chaos Ruler, which has been, I think, one of the most popular cards this weekend so far. Like, you know, alone, it's huge, not only, you know, his first effect, but also, like, bringing him back from the graveyard. And now also, you know, okay.
And we get to see an Ash Blossom as well. Wow. Not a surprise. The Robin is made. Again, a quick one. He's playing so many hand shops, but as you were mentioning, if you go first, then have the Punk engine, essentially through Chaos Ruler and then Kid Kalos, you are able to pretty much mill 10 cards, which is an insane number. You get to see at least a couple names, and it guarantees a very good combo.
And he milled the Ophanis, so this is like even better, because he discarded the Merly with the Shireen. We will soon see the Kid Kalos being summoned. I think this is a very good mill that Tim was looking forward to it.
Now, as you mentioned, he's going to be using the Evnes. And this is the stuff we have seen throughout the day. What changes is usually the ending combo. Of course, on the one end, you usually see the Curious, and when you're playing Dangers. In this case, when you're playing Punks, the combo is quite different, but still Kid Kalos is such a powerful card.
Especially if you start things off with Kid Kalos and you have the Meta Noise, either the Meta Noise or the Soliac.
In this case, we see the Soliac getting added to the end. I think he might know about his opponent deck. Usually against most decks this format, Meta Noise can be better. Yeah. But Sky Strikers, of course, outside of Ray, which can be chained to it, mostly get hurt more by the continuous trap card. So. And here, no surprise at all, we get to see the Chaos Ruler, and as mentioned, pretty much you get to see your entire deck, and it's so strong, even through 2 hand shops from Robin. Let's see. Gonna cut his deck, obviously looking for Fairy Tail Snow as one of the best options, and wow, whew, look at these mills from Chaos Ruler. Insane stuff.
Yeah, I guess the Ophanis makes sense. He already used the other effects this turn, like use the Merly, use the Shireen.
Yeah.
Use the Phoenix as well.
So now we could, you know, get the usual combo where they end on the Baron, for example. So let's see if he's just gonna go for. Does he play the Shinobi as the target, or let's check. Usually they would. No, he's playing Plague Spreader. Nice.
Yeah, a card we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, it's being played by a few decks just because it's a recurring effect. You get to use it, and then it can go into even the Sprite Elf. So that's a really interesting inclusion. It's always nice to see these cards that were played back in 2010, you know, literally 12 years ago, even more, and now they are back here in 2022. So.
And I think this is the best start that Tim could have asked for, especially if you start with Kaleido Heart plus the Soliac themselves, like this is an incredible interruptions.
And unfortunately, there is no Nibiru this time. Wow. We have been seeing it multiple times throughout the weekend, and this is a very strong opening by the Tier Element Punk player.
This is by far one of the best ones we have seen.
Yeah, so it
weekend.
seems like the deck I was excited to see in action is paying off. Now he even gets to mill 8 cards from the top of his deck, so insane start. Let's see, definitely looking for the Snow. And he hits, okay, maybe 1 by 1 would be better. Yeah, nothing too relevant, I guess. He could push his play a little bit further, maybe going for a Stapelia, but he was definitely looking for the Snow. Which, to be honest, in the Sky Striker matchup isn't particularly impressive.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't make
Yeah.
big difference. But here comes the Stapelia. And again, his opponent, I think now with this start, like Kaleidohar plus Saliek, Baron, wow.
Yeah, it's an incredible start. Of course, still, it's worth mentioning that a lot of these players have been using Dark Ruler no more, and this opening is still very fragile to it, but at least compared to other decks, we know that he searched the continuous trap, so he has a way to still deal with his opponent, even in case of a Dark Ruler no more. So, impressive stuff here by Team. But at the same time, if Mystic Mine comes down and there is a way to force out the Baron Negate, this game could be over. Because let's check if he's playing the Galaxy. I think only in the side deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't have an out. He doesn't even play the Poly. So he would need to use the Field Spell to pop Mine. And it's not that easy when you're not using polymerizations. Yeah.
What a start.
Yeah, this is an impressive start.
And now Robin starts things off with Upstart Goblin.
Yeah. A card we haven't seen in a moment, but I think it's the first time also that we see Totally Awesome being summoned by the Tier 11 deck, right?
Yeah.
Such a cool way to actually use this deck.
Because sometimes players do play, you know, Instant Fusion and then go for Bahamut Shark.
Yeah.
And then with Totally Awesome, but I
don't know. This seems quite unfair. Can we check if Robin is actually using the Dark Ruler? Because I think he passed back. Really? Wow. So
wow.
Robin unfortunately passed back, and his opponent just gonna enter battle phase, and the game 1 goes to Tim. Nice round of applause from the crowd, and what a game 1. Very impressive stuff. Incredible combo. Tim knows his deck very well, and he showed us why he's on the verge of making it to the top cut. So great stuff. And now Robin will be in trouble because technically his opponent doesn't know his deck.
Yeah.
But we know that he opted to go second often. And do you really go second after against a deck that can do this?
After what I saw, like, it's scary because, like, even after having 2 end traps, one of them was, you know, he has Cold Body Grave, but seeing what the deck can do, you know, like with all these negations, is super scary.
Yeah, but I can't wait any longer. I have to talk about the real spice in the side deck from Robin, the Sky Striker player, which is Toon Table of Contents alongside Toon Cyber Dragon. So we haven't seen Toon cards in a home minute, and it actually makes so much sense. Maybe I would have liked them more in the main deck, but in Sky Strikers, just going through free pull copy of Toon Table, it is something we have seen, I think, in spell books back in the day. Yeah, it's been a while, and I think it's cool. You get to get the free spells as quick as possible, and then all your Sky Strikers have an additional effect. And the Toon Cyber Dragon is there mainly to be used for the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet. So might as well be an interesting choice. I hope we get to see it here in Game 2. But outside of that, if he keeps going second, probably just the free copies of Nibiru, which again the player did not play around, so it would have completely destroyed Team.
Yeah, exactly, especially because, like as we said before, Sky Striker can afford to play multiple hand traps, like we saw Ogre and Ash. So it will make sense if Robin will go second. But yeah, I mean, on the other side, Team still like you saw, just, you know, Ogre, Ash, and Upstart Goblin.
Yeah, it's quite possible that he doesn't know what his opponent is doing, and if he's going first, though, which is an interesting thing to notice, he doesn't really have side deck cards. He thinks that his deck is really good at going first, and to be honest, we just saw it. And so his side deck is mainly going second cards, which here could come in. Maybe the Gamma package is a safe option against any deck, and of course evenly matched would be interesting, but he doesn't know what he's up against. So
especially because, like, you don't really see Upstart Goblin being played too much this format, so you could ask yourself what deck could play Upstart Goblin, you know?
Yeah, but it's a tough pick nonetheless. Like Upstart Goblin, I do agree with you that it's not being played, but can you really just guess his Sky Striker on the just from an Upstart Goblin? I don't know. It's we'll see, but there is a good chance that they know what they are playing because they were at the top tables throughout the event. And again, this is round 12, so they have been playing for 2 days now, and it's quite a possibility that they know what each other is. But then, if you know what you're playing against, what do you put in?
Yeah, I mean, Galaxy Cyclone for sure will go in, because like Mystic Mine is a problem. You want to get rid of it
For sure.
I mean, evenly matched is okay. Like, if you like
Maybe.
going second could be okay. It's not, I think, that great, especially because like Sky Striker has changed, as you said, throughout these months. Before, like, used to play more trap cards. Now it relies more on hand traps.
But without further ado, our players are basically ready. So let's see if we'll get to see a Toon Cyber Dragon in action, and let's go back to game 2. And here I already bring it up on the screen because I just want to see it. So let's hope that team will get his hands on one copy of the Toon spell. And I think Robin actually went second. Yeah. As expected, Robin chose to go second, disrespecting in a way the great opening that we saw in game 1. And team doesn't stutter, just already and immediately goes on. And let's see these mills. He did side in evenly. So.
I think he expected to go second. After game 1 anyways, I think Robin made the right choice. Like, deck is built to go second in general by playing, you know, a lot of hand traps. Let's now see if he has any. We'll go now with the Kit Kalos.
And Robin is thinking about it, but eventually allows it. So team now might be wondering what deck may you go first, and with the Upstart Goblin you can see Robin smiling. Maybe he did draw his copy of Toon Cyber Dragon. I'm surely hoping that's the case, but I think you get once again not the Meta Noise but the Suliak, right? Yeah, let's see. Okay, no, instead he goes for the Rhino Art. He wants to push through a little bit more. And he might go also for the Redoer later on, so I think it's a safe assumption. Let's see. Okay, so Kit Kalos is the first option. He's gonna mill 5, open to it that Galaxy Cyclone, which would protect him from the Mystic Mine. And let's see these 8 mills, basically. Yeah, Robin allows it. Wow, very underwhelming for now. I can't quite catch the 5th, but there is surely a tier 11 afterwards. Yeah, and he's gonna use it right away. So the one and only tier 11 is sent back to his deck. And we get to see Astapelia once again. So solid stuff, not as impressive as game 1 because the Punk Engine yet isn't there. Oh, and we see Cherry actually. So team completely caught off guard. He sided in Winter Cherries, so he's expecting a completely different type of matchup here.
Because like maybe he thought he could have played against Sprite, so he has, you know, the totally awesome just in case, or
just a mirror match and be safe. I guess it's still a good decision. I can't really blame him.
Yeah, I mean, by going second, you can. It's like overall a generic card along with the evenly matched.
Yeah.
So it would have been okay, but I think he will be impressed by what his opponent is playing. But still, no hand traps from Robin.
Now we'll see if he wants to again go for the Redoer. Does he play Abyss Dweller? I would be surprised if he didn't. But
does not.
He doesn't. Wow. That's very surprising. We saw how strong of a card that is in the mirror match. It's pretty much an auto-win button unless they have a very niche out. So
We have seen that Abyss Dweller really is a key card in these moments.
Yeah, and he does go, and he's thinking about the sharing. Yeah, he's definitely considering it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because like he could go for. Let's see if he can really put up. Like somehow the gigantic sprite as before.
Think he is giving up the rank 4 option, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of. I really like the redoer against any matchup, especially when you don't know what you're up against. Wow, and he instead decides to go all in a way for the Kaleido art. Interesting. So I guess not afraid to commit and goes eventually for it. And I think he just passed back to his opponent. So let's see if we'll get to have a look at the Toon engine from Robin. Very underwhelming game 1 on his side, but now this opening seems quite doable. And the Mystic Mine already coming down. Wow. I think Team might not have an out, because by siding in Winter Cherries, I would be shocked if he put in the Galaxy as well.
Because like if you expect your opponent to play, as we said, maybe a tier element or a sprite, I don't think he may be sided in. So.
And even after the mine comes the one and only copy of Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. What a card, brings up a lot of memories. But at least now Team knows what he's up against. And even if he loses this one, he will be able to adjust his deck for game 3, I guess.
Because now we have seen this weekend that players really play Mystic Mine to play then their own cards without, you know, drawing and pass.
And this seems the case. Once again, we see the Rose into Ayate. So back when Mystic Mine was released and a couple of months ago, we were usually witnessing Mystic Mine as a deck out option. Now it seems as if it's a sort of Dark Ruler, so you do play your own game, and interestingly enough, it just sends the Ray. So interesting stuff here from Robin. Kagari, then get back the Engage. I think with the first one he added the Shark Cannon, right? Which is a very powerful tool against the element. And again, Engage this time. Let's see, the first time he got, as mentioned, a Shark Cannon. Now we can't quite tell what he got, but might be a Widow Anchor, honestly. And for now, he presses on with multi-roll. Do you think he gets rid of the Kagari? No.
No.
Okay, Metal for Fusion. Interesting.
Let's see if he has a way somehow to send the third spell to the graveyard. Maybe he has another, or maybe he goes for, you know, Shizuku directly. Yeah, okay.
So he's not going to use the Metal Foe to draw a card, it seems like. Interesting stuff, right?
Yeah, I think he wants to save it for the next turn. He doesn't even activate the Shark Cannon.
Yeah, because now probably might activate a quick spell in the end phase, right? So he already has 3. But I don't know, it's definitely an interesting line of play. You usually would probably rely on the Mystic Mine more, clearing your old board, but I don't know. I guess it has been working out for Robin, and now let's see if Team does anything. And yeah, we might just waste this Anchor and not use the roll to set it back. Okay. Yeah. So interesting, very interesting line of play from Robin. Not something we have seen in our Sky Striker matches back in the days, but let's see if we will get punished. Does Team play like Unicorn or any of those cards that can out it in the extra deck at least?
No.
No, not even. So let's see. Definitely not going to be an easy task. So we know the face down are for sure the shark cannon and most likely an anchor.
But now, like, also he has to deal with the Mystic Mine. Let's see, team goes for the cross ship, getting rid of the Kaleido Hard and Merly. Cross ship, once again, another card we haven't seen in a while. It was one of these cards that was used in a lot of decks in the last years.
Yeah, it's a very interesting card. Right now we're gonna just see it. Usually you would see a unicorn here, but he's not using it. So he will just go for a dark and try to just clear as much of his board as possible. And here you can see just why the Mystic Mine is so annoying.
Because now team has to deal with the Shark Cannon for sure. Maybe does he play the Impermanence? No, Robbie does not. So yeah, he might have another Widow Anchor. Yeah, I think he attacked over. Okay, passed. Yeah, looks like he has the. Yeah, there's not that much he can do. Basically, he had the Z-Amen.
Yeah, we mentioned it. He basically was forced to just clear the mine somehow, and now there is so much advantage going on from Robin. I don't think he even cares that much. If his opponent now mills the tier elements, he has the Shark Cannon to deal with it. So let's see. He needs to mill 2. Yeah, this is not a problem from Robin. He will be able to clear it with the Shark Cannon, and I would be surprised if he didn't. He's definitely thinking about it, but I think he's in a great spot at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he can go for Shark Cannon, and then he has 3 spells in the graveyard. Oh no, but okay.
He allows it. So interesting. He could have just used the Shark Cannon, but instead he will allow this. Maybe doesn't think this is a big enough threat for him to care, but I think I would have liked the Shark Cannon here to calm down.
Yeah. Especially because like he has 3 spells, so he could have taken it and then go for multi-roll, right?
I definitely would have liked that, but regardless, this is gonna be so tough for team, because he has the Metalful Fusion in Grave, so he can get a search that way, he can get a search and a +1 from engage. So this is a lot of stuff going on from Robin, and when there are 15 minutes left in the round, you also have to start wondering if you should pick up your cards, because we know how good of a timeout deck Sky Striker can be. Going first and second, actually.
Now he goes with the engage, and he will get to draw a card as well.
Yeah. So nice. Right now he picks up some cards. He is playing Choose Tapelias in his actual deck, so the play you just saw was perfectly legal. And yeah, now so much card advantage going on. And this is what basically we witnessed at the North American event with Ryan Yu, who was just doing similar things. He was using Mystic Mine not as a win condition in, let's say, deck out, but he was just using it for a turn.
Yeah.
And then the next turn he would engage Kagari and just go off with multiples +1s.
No, but I like this strategy because, like, it is like a pseudo, Dark Lure No More in a sense, in which you basically play throughout your opponent cards, and then you basically can get rid of it very easily with this Sky Striker, as Area 0, multi-roll and stuff. But yeah, looks like Robin is in control of this game. Like,
I would guess he's playing like Celine and Access Code as the main damage tools, I guess. Yeah, usual stuff. So you can push big damage like this. Honestly, you can even get to steal the Dark or the Stapelia here. Let's see. Okay, he instead goes for the cannon. Into Cherry, interesting. Maybe he just wants to go for the access through the Crystal Anarchy Fibrax now. Definitely an unusual play again. Yeah, this is Alki 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it brings out Valor. I mean, I like it, but I mean, it's kind of risky, but high risk, high reward.
Yeah, because now he goes for Celine, and the Stapelia is not able to do much here. Once he gets back his car, he's going to go for the access code, and he's going to try to push as much damage as possible. We know Team is only on 6,500 life points, so with the Widow Anchor, this is easily game.
Yeah.
As long as he pays attention to the, obviously, sharing in the field. So let's see. Yeah, an access code arrives. Do you think he should just take that one? Yeah, here Stapelia is going to come. You have to negate it and take it. And this is easily game, so...
I think he can easily seal the game now. Widow Anchor on it. Just will do some...
Widow Anchor steal. And he picks up his card, and as expected, the score is even. It's 1-1, and we'll get to see a game 3 where Team has to decide whether to go first or go second, as Robin did. So.
And now I think it's going to be interesting whether Team decides to go first or second, because like we saw the strategy at the beginning. He decided, he started first, and then your opponent gets you go first.
Exactly.
And now you can play mind games,
it is usually when you play a go second deck, usually there are mind games involved. Game 1, he didn't get to see any of his opponent cards, and as we saw, he was siding stuff like Winter Cherries, which is completely useless against Sky Striker. And now, though, the mind games are pretty much over, and they are actually on Team sides, because Team wants to go first and combo off. Maybe, I think it could be nice that he let his opponent go first. Sides in his, Galaxy evenly, and then try and combo through and just deal some damage, because the Sky Striker deck is quite underwhelming, at least this version when going first. He has no trap cards.
But if you're Robin, would you expect your opponent to go first or second now? Because basically it is a combo deck, no?
Yeah.
From what we saw game 1, he put up multiple negations.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, I don't like much the side deck from Robin, because it seems a little conflicting with the main deck already. The main deck is entirely focused on going second, so usually when you do that, I think I like side decks where you see maybe Metaverse, Sanctum, Trap Trick, as Ryan Yu was doing over in America, but here this is not happening. All of his side decks except for Shared Ride, which is a decent option, but it doesn't save you, from an OTK. It's a weird side deck, I would say, from Robin. Even Barrier, it's not great. You would side it, of course, because tier elements are hurt a lot by it, but I do like that the Punk Engine is kind of an alternative option when you're hit by Barrier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed that he doesn't play, the Trap Trick or the Sanctum at all in between the main deck and the side deck, because sometimes you side them out in between game 1 and game 2, by playing hand traps, basically you switch them.
Yeah.
As you said, it doesn't have so many options by going first, but would you say it need Beerus anyway? Because against this kind of deck...
Yeah, I mean, it's so strong, you need it regardless, and you still don't know if your opponent will actually go first or will let you start. I think just by how his deck is built, you have to pray that you're going second regardless. But I think Team might be on it, and maybe it just goes second. I would like it, especially because I think there are 10 minutes left in the round, maybe a little bit more, but we are around that, and you want to push damage as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Either way, our duelists are ready, so let's find out who the winner of Game 3 will be. Here there are one final game for one of these duelists to advance to the top 128, and Team decides to go first. He doesn't buy into Robin's strategy, he doesn't think it is good enough, and he gets to mill a Plague Spreader. So interesting start, not exactly the ideal one, but at least he has the Rhino Art to back it off.
Yeah, it's good. Now we can get rid of one card out of his hand. Okay.
Nice.
He has the Mercy,
nice.
so he has other 3 cards to mill.
Definitely a strong opening from team. But again, you have to wonder, if you're playing against Sky Striker, you can't go for your regular opening. You have to go for something a little diverse. And I think you focus on just milling as much as possible, because you need to hit the Galaxy Cyclone for the Mystic Mine.
And I think you want to go for the Redoer, right? Because, I mean, Sky Striker plays so many spells.
Yeah, 100%. And this on the screen is the card that team wants to hit with his mills. It is one of those options where, as you can read, the important effect is get the Grave one. You can banish it and pop a face-up spell, which is Mystic Mine almost every time. So this is the goal for team. If he does it, the Galaxy, then he's going to be quite safe, I would say.
I think we will see, yes, standard stuff here from team.
Yeah, probably the Kid Callus plus Redoer, as you were saying, and with 7 minutes left on the clock, I think he should try to play as fast as possible, just avoiding losing in time.
Especially because, like, playing against Sky Striker, he has easy access to Ayare, which deals damage, and
it's tough to play around as well.
Yeah.
Maybe just Tapelia, but yeah. That's why the Sky Striker in timeout is great. Not only is, as you mentioned, Ayate a perfect card, but Kaine as well. You gain life points every time you activate a spell card, so it's very annoying. But here we get to see one of the searches. This is great in time if we get there, because it can negate one of those XYZ or Link effects rather. So Suliek, the pick. And now we actually, interestingly enough, get to see the cross ship. Okay. Cool stuff.
Something that we don't see quite often. Yeah, the Rhino gets banished.
Yeah. And the Plague Spreader gets to be on the field. And as you can see here, he's going to be able to use the cross ship effect as a fusion is pointing to it. He gets to special summon a level 4 or lower from the graveyard. And as he hit the aim-in, he gets to go off here. But this is extremely scary if you're team. He pays life points when there are 5 minutes remaining. And this could actually cost him the game if he's not careful enough.
Especially because, like, from what we've seen this weekend so far, it takes time, you know? You have so many cards to activate, mill, then...
Something worth mentioning, of course, is that he is playing in his extra deck a copy of Scarlight, Red Dragon, Archifiend, so if he's somehow able to combo off and then go for the card, he could get rewarded, but I don't think there is enough time for that yet, so...
Not yet.
Let's see.
It could be worth it.
Yeah.
Still don't know if he will manage to do it. Like 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, the cool thing you can do is that when you go for it and you destroy the Kid Callus, then you get to trigger it. But let's see here, he doesn't go for it. So he's going, just committing for his regular plays, but there are just very, very few minutes remaining. So could this be an actually self-sabotage from team? Let's see.
He added the Shireen, okay.
Yeah, but this is getting stressful if you're a fan of team. Only 4 minutes remaining. He is down on life points by his own choice. He was perfectly fine comboing off through other stuff. Instead, he felt like as if this was necessary, and I'm not sure I still see the linings here. So.
And as we were saying before, is still, I mean, playing on the bubble, 4 minutes remaining. You have all the cards you need. Hopefully we will get to see the Scarlet Red Dragon in action. I think he could go for it. Like, if Robin doesn't have any sort of interruption, because like he plays multiples, but still, he goes with the Kalheidohar once again, because like he added back the Salyak. Okay, now Robin is thinking about that. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah. Again, Nibiru would be so strong here, and I think he is considering it. Yeah, I think we have seen Nibiru not being played by many players, but every time we saw it, it was so strong.
It was super impactful. Like we saw that, like in the Sprite Mirror match, sometimes is a kind of 50-50 card. Because like sometimes you do not get to activate it, but
and again, such an impressive opening by team with going first. Wow, this is and he gets the snow as well. So what a start! But I'm still worried about how much time is left for him. Let's see if he can manage to combo through. Yeah. And now the snow is in graveyard. He get his hand on it, so he's gonna banish 7, get it back, and considering some summons. Yeah, he goes for the elf. So elf cannot bring back that, but he's gonna go for the toad. So same opening as game 1. When team goes first, he's always able somehow to end on this board.
Will it be enough though, with 2 minutes remaining?
Yeah. Just as a clarification, if you saw the switch, he did declare the correct card, but then accidentally put that one on the field. So the judge, of course, corrected it. But the Totally Awesome is now on the field, but with less than 2 minutes remaining. What a start from Tim. Incredible showing off of his knowledge of this deck. Can Robin do enough? He starts things off with a multi-roll, and this is scary already. You cannot allow this to resolve, otherwise just a Mystic Mine is enough. So, as expected, we get to see the Baron resolve, and now with Toad on the field, let's see. The Mine comes down. He does have the Toad. Robin is smiling. Let's see if he wants it. He does get it from him. Let's see if he has a second copy, though.
Yeah, I mean, if he has another copy...
He does! Wow! Woo! 2 copy of Mystic Mine and multi-roll. I mean, what can you even say? He plays back to team who desperately wants to find one of his outs. Only about a minute left. He checks his graveyard. Unfortunately, not Galaxy in there, and he passes back to Robin. What a match, and what a way to end these Swiss portions. He's really trying his best, but now he does get his hands on a copy of the Fuel Spell, so if he has any way to push forward to a Fusion Summon, he could get this done. It's still quite tough. Let's see. No, it does not, unfortunately, and play is back to Robin.
I think this is the first time we're going to see Mystic Mine winning.
Mystic Mine winning the game. Team is looking for his Cosmic. He does draw a spell. Unfortunately, it's another field spell, which means there is very, very few time left for him to get into this duel. And let's just see if Robin will be the one to advance, and with Sky Striker being one of those decks we did not expect to make it as far as the top cut, still no out. Gonna be an unfortunate one. I do appreciate though the pace at which they're playing. Kudos to both of them, showing very high sportsmanship on both sides. But let's see if Robin picks up anything. Time should be over any second now, and I think time just called, and you can see Tim shaking his head. His hand is filled with monsters, and unfortunately, due to the 600 life points he paid from him, and he has to offer the handshake, and Robin takes the match.
What a match.
What a match indeed, what a match indeed. In the end, we did not get to see the Toon cards, but maybe we could get to see them in action in the top cut. And no matter what, Toon Cyber Dragon is stopping an event, and what an event, we can say.
No, I mean, incredible. Like, team showed us how powerful the deck is. Like, game 1, he went for an incredible combo, like Baron, totally awesome, like multiple breaking board cards. And then, in game 2, like we saw Sky Striker winning, he had like 3 spell cards in the graveyard, multi-roll, He had all he needed, and then with a video anchor on the Stapelia, like he needed it, and then he closed the game. While in game 3, once again, Team showed us how powerful his deck is, but double Mystic Mine.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we were mentioning, Punk with tier elements looked like as if it was an extremely combo and complicated deck to run, and I think Team was playing it really well, and pretty much most decks of the format could not handle with such an opening. The only card there would have been, you know, the Dark Ruler, but in case that happened, he had the trap face down, so I think his preparation was really, really good. Unfortunately, he had to play against Mystic Mine, which is never a good thing to do. He still played his best. I gotta say though, congratulations to his opponent, Robin, picking up his cards in game 1. Did not reveal what he was playing, and this, I think, gave him the win in game 2. Yeah. Because his opponent didn't know what to side deck.
Exactly. I mean, he sided deck, he sided in the 3 evenly matched, which could be okay, like by going blind second. And then, I mean, there was the Winter Cherries, which were not useful at all. But then when he understood his opponent was playing Sky Striker, of course, like, he decided anyway to go first. So I think this was a good idea, especially because, like, he was able to put up an impressive field. You know, with Stapelia, totally awesome. Baron, it was not enough once again. Incredible.
Yeah, not at all. And I mean, as we were mentioning, it has been, I think, a very long weekend already. The first time in a while we had seen 12 rounds of Swiss, and our players had to go for an X3 record and hope that in the case they had an additional draw that they could get and fit into the top 128, which most likely is going to be the case. And no matter what, we will be able to show off a very diverse top card with a lot of different decks, a lot of underdogs, and even a lot of very known players with that success throughout the year. Yep. And also this year, because some national champions are doing quite well.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. There are some still, I saw the French national champion still inside, along with the Spanish national champion. They're both playing.
Yeah, so a lot of players to look out for. If you support any one of them in specific, I still remind you, you can, why not, send a message in the chat asking for who you want to see, and if we get the chance to feature them, then we'll try our best. But without further ado, I think Ed is ready with Robin, the winner of round 12, and the first, I guess, guaranteed top cut participant. So let's go back to them for the interview.
Welcome, guys. Yes, we are here on the main stage here with Robin Dulin, who's just won with his Sky Striker deck. First of all, just want to say a big congratulations. How does it feel to take this win in the last round of Swiss?
Really good. Really, really good.
Have you ever done a feature match before?
No, it was my first.
Did you find it nerve-wracking, or were you quite composed?
I was really nervous.
Okay, well, you actually still managed to win, though, despite the nerves, so credit where credit's due. So let's talk a little bit about your deck. So obviously you're running Sky Strikers, but you had something in there that we weren't expecting, which was your quite spicy choice of a Toon Cyber Dragon. Talk to us a little bit about why you decided to do that.
In theory, there are many tower decks, like Etignista or Marinces. And that is an easy way to clear that cards, and took 3 spades in graveyard. And versus Sprite is also fine, I think, because you take the elf and you can run over Toad. But I don't know if it is really good or is gimmicky.
I mean, it's an interesting choice, at least, and it was something for us to talk about, so maybe it was a good choice for you to put it in there. So just going through some of the things that happened in that, obviously you had a Mystic Mine in game 2, well, you have double Mystic Mine, and you had your multi-roll and your Mystic Mine dealt with at the end there, but then you came out with that other Mystic Mine. Did you feel that there was a chance you might lose, or were you feeling pretty confident throughout most of that last game?
That was only luck. When you have one back row removal, I have immediately lost. That was pure luck, I would say.
I don't know if it was luck. I'd say that comes down to skill and raw nerves. Either way, Robin, congratulations to you. I hope that the top 128 cut goes well for you. you. Congratulations one more time. Guys, do not go anywhere because we're about to come back with the top cut of this tournament.